What is up, guys? Brian here. I just want to talk about different markets and how it's been affected by the inflation that we're seeing or limited supply or whatever it's been. Let's try to get a grip on this. So housing prices year over year have went up more than they've ever went up before in the United States. The median house price is around $350,000, which is an all-time high. Gas prices here are over $3, which, you know, when we were in severe lockdown, obviously it dropped below $1, but it's been below $2 for a long time. Now it's up over $3. We're seeing other things increase. Used car market has went up, seems like 20 to 25% on everything I've been pricing. And we're just seeing this across the board in a lot of different markets. So you might even feel the same way, that even with some of the crypto gains that you made, if you're able to capture some of those gains and you had good price points and stuff like that, and you bought in, that the amount that you kind of like ended up, it's like that money doesn't go as far. But we have to think people in the regular economy that aren't in crypto, they have to be somewhat feeling the squeeze as well, because if they were wanting to buy a house, if they're wanting to buy a car, whether it's used or new, you know, whatever it may be, they might be feeling the squeeze as well. And we've got this very weird situation where, again, a lot of people don't want to work. It's like a lot of fast food restaurants have 1 or 2 employees trying to man the entire thing with a huge drive up, and they can't find good help. So where are the high schoolers? You know, and you're just kind of scratching your head. Again, it's like maybe the parents aren't forcing the kids to work that, or, you know, are finally able to go on a vacation, so the kids don't want to start working because there's summer vacations coming up, or whatever it may be. Very, very strange. You know, I'm seeing fast food restaurants paying $12-13 an hour, and they still can't get enough people to go in there and work. I was hearing that General Motors up in Detroit was having a hard time finding factory workers because they wouldn't loosen up on their pot requirements. You know, weed is legal in Michigan for recreational use, but I think the way their testing is and stuff like that, it'll trigger, maybe somebody had some cannabis 10 days prior or whatever, and so they don't qualify. They can't work there and stuff. So they're having a hard time finding workers. A lot of places are having a hard time finding workers. Even the airlines, a lot of flights have been canceled here in the United States. I've seen that with like American Airlines. So it's just a very weird time, and it's just like, well, when are we going to be out of this? And I know some other people are maybe coming to grips with this as far as the crypto market is concerned. It's like, okay, you've got a tangible amount and the money doesn't go as far, and you're like, I've bugged this out long enough, and I don't know where this thing's going, but I know that if I take this money right now, that I can get this car, that car, can go on this trip, do this, buy this house, buy this property. And so it ends up being like, well, at least I have it, at least I kind of have it. Whereas with the crypto, it's like, talk about a roller coaster. You just do this for years and years, and this thing just mentally kind of beats you up, and you feel like you've thugged it out literally for years. And it's like, well, when's my big payday? That, and maybe it just depends what your strategy was, of even if you felt like you even caught a real ride, or even it got to the levels that you anticipated and where you were going to cash out, and all that. I mean, maybe you even broke your own rules on cashing out of certain projects, or maybe the situation changed and things. So I think what's happening is, people saw how much stuff was going up, and that's why I think that the flow is still going out on Bitcoin, because obviously if big corporations and stuff like that buy Bitcoin, it's not that easy to double your money when you're running whatever, manufacturing business, service business, anything. It's hard to double your money. And when they can even do that double, triple, quadruple, they're going to take profits. They're not unsophisticated retail investors per se, necessarily. I mean, obviously they can make mistakes too. They're not going to be perfect, but Now that being said, all the profit taking and everything, whether it's individuals, whether it's companies, this and that, I think they're flowing to other things that they feel will be better for their money. Maybe they thought that, hey, there's an opportunity in oil. I think a lot of people are going to travel this summer because they can finally get out. People feel maybe safer traveling, this and that. And so maybe they felt like oil was a better play. Maybe they felt like gold was a better play. Maybe they felt something was more secure. Maybe they did go ahead and buy land. And it could have been farmland. It could have been, wooded properties. It could have been something with a structure, existing structures. It's really hard saying, but until you kind of reap those benefits from the crypto, again, it's just kind of numbers on the screen. And obviously, like, we stay in that world primarily. But, it's very easy to one day feel like, hey, I feel really secure. This is really solid. This is the future. And then things start to dump the other way. And then you just see all your kind of hopes and dreams melt away. And psychologically, that's very difficult for people because they've already imagined themselves with the new C8 Corvette that you can't get right now. Again, you start to get fixated on this, and when the prices drop and then you realize, well, everything else is elevated, that can be very difficult. And then people maybe feel like, well, I need to get out, because if I don't get it, I don't get this out and I don't buy something tangible, then I don't know. It's just, we don't know what the future holds. So with the automotive stuff, I don't see this thing correcting itself for 6 months at the very least, maybe even a year. Because rental car prices, the rental car companies need more cars in their fleet. The used car market is elevated. That's going to take time to sort of work its way out. And obviously, you're always kind of going on previous sales, previous comps with houses, cars, all these kind of things. And so it kind of perpetuates itself longer. It's not going to just be, I don't feel like it's going to be like an abrupt turnaround. And then probably once they do get the chips, a lot of those vehicles are probably spoken for, whether it be that it's going to rental car companies or it's going to individuals who have already, purchased something. I guess the Ford Bronco is sold out for the next couple years. Obviously the C8 Corvette is likely sold out. You can't even make an order on it. And it's funny because what do we got right there? We got a C8 Corvette. That is funny. I did not expect that one. So that's only the second one I've seen here. So yeah, very, very tough to get what you want right now. And at the end of the day, I don't know. I mean, it just kind of depends what your goals were. If you think that crypto is going to go back up. Again, if you saw my last video, personally, I feel like the tide is still going out. Just if people are looking at stuff from a technical aspect, but the alts are going to bleed way harder than Bitcoin. And wherever you think Bitcoin can get to, which is likely lower than what it's at right now. I think last time I checked, it's like 34,000. It kind of bounced back up a little bit. Most people probably think that, hey, you can get a little bit lower. And like I said, the smart money's not really buying at this price unless they're so confident that if we do enter a bear market that they're prepared to hold for 3 or 4 years. The problem is you can blow your gains jumping back into this stuff at a higher level, and if it does not go back up, you are stuck in it and you didn't buy anything that was more of what I would say more of a tangible thing, whether that be a car, land, boats, dirt bikes, all those kind of things. And with the amount of money that, I have basically kind of like lost sort of on a whim on these kind of like rug pulls, whether it be a soft rug pull or a hard rug pull, I would have been a lot better off with a different car, a boat, maybe went on some trips, that kind of thing. And that's what's kind of messing with my head, is that there was a lot lost with Moonrat. There was sort of an issue with that right away, and Moonrat was terrible. There was another one that on the on Polygon that was called Golden Bull, and that was going great for like 6 hours, and then the tide went out on that, and the whole market was dumping. So a very bad situation and stuff like that. And then when I just look at the money just in between those two, when the tide goes out, it's like you're trying to swim upstream, and then the stuff that would have worked when everything was going up, it's not working. And then at that point, it's like, well, what's the point of trying to chase around on this thing and worrying about it mentally? And so all that being said, obviously I'm primarily in the stablecoin strategy, providing liquidity for stablecoin pairs. And then when stuff gets low enough, I'm going to re-enter these markets, but I'm not going to go all in. And the reason is because I don't know. I'm not that confident that we're going to have this fourth quarter surge. A lot of people's extra money or dispendable income could be, soaked up in just inflation, that everything costs more. So it's really hard to say. And maybe a lot of institutional buyers who would have normally bought in and went deeper into this kind of saw that the whole premise wasn't playing out as well for Bitcoin, and that people weren't kind of chasing that, and they feel like it sort of then got gimmicky, and it's like, well, what do we buy? And that people are chasing all these different dog tokens, and again, Inu this, Safe this, Moon that, and then it's like, well, from a more serious standpoint, what can they invest in from a technology standpoint? And some of the people that went in deep, I don't know why I can't remember his name, but the Galaxy Digital guy that went heavy into EOS, Mike Novogratz, the EOS play didn't really work out the way that he kind of saw it. Obviously, he's invested in a lot of different stuff, but even he was sort of scratching his head like, why is Cardano going up so much? I don't understand what's going on. And what he didn't understand is that it's almost like the carrot hanging out there, and something that's this, I call it the Bigfoot effect, that things can do better before they're the finished product. That it's always, oh, this is going to be the best thing. This thing's around the corner. It's going to be so great. And people chase that more than they chase a finished product. And we'll see that with Tron. Tron actually hit a higher price point when it was in its ICO phase and it was still an ERC20 token, then it hit this cycle, at least so far, as a finished product with DeFi on it in a working ecosystem. So we've seen this time and time again. It's almost got to be an unfinished product that's being touted to be the next whatever, and then it's going to solve the world's problems. Otherwise, it can't appreciate as much as, if it's a finished product, it seemingly can't appreciate as much as what is an unfinished kind of pipe dream. So anyway, and that's one of the frustrating things about crypto, guys, to be honest with you. So a couple price points just to finish this off of things I'm looking for. I'm looking for Cake sub $5. I'll retake a pretty decent position in that because I do think that is sort of integral. That is the major platform token, for any of the Binance Smart Chain like DeFi projects. Something else I may be looking for that I haven't mentioned, already, I am looking at Steam and Hive, probably sub 15 cents. People say, well, I don't know if it can get there. Well, it's getting down around 20 cents already. And if you saw Steam, it pumped clear to like around $1.50. And then the Steam back dollar, I've been monitoring the Steam back dollar and the Hive back dollar. So Steam back dollar got down to like $3.25, which was interesting because if it gets back down to $1, that's more when I'm gonna kind of feel like that we're sort of on stable ground, so to speak, or like base level. And the Hive back dollar got yanked under $1. There was actually kind of an opportunity there. It got yanked down to 80 cents, and then it popped back up closer to $1. So I am monitoring those just because I do think that if there is a decent, if we do hit ground level and we do go sort of long tail, that it is almost a safer thing to sort of yield farm out of Steam and Hive than it is to yield farm on some of these DeFi platforms that we don't know as much about, that there could be this soft rug pull or hard rug pull. The thing you have to watch out with Steam is when the Steam back dollar is way up, because of the way the mechanism works and that it's a debt against Steam back dollar is a debt against Steam, is when it's at elevated prices, it effectively creates more inflation than what's typically on the chain. And this is sort of this hidden inflation thing that can really drag the price down. So we have to kind of watch that. You can get really burned. I know that after the 2017, 2018 cycle, the effective interest rate or inflation rate was probably around 16%. And I didn't know that. I thought it was 8% annually. And it was effectively like 16%. And it really drug the price down. And it was really frustrating once I found that out. Like, wow. So this thing's just inflating that much more. So very strange economically how that works and how that's can affect the situation. But anyway, guys, what are you guys seeing out there? What are you guys thinking? You think these used car prices are going to go down? What about the housing prices? Do you think there's going to be a colossal collapse in the housing market? And also, with crypto, what's your outlook? Do you think it's worth going all back in and figuring that, yeah, it is going to go to a higher high this year? Maybe because of these inflation concerns, that you feel that crypto is the safe haven and that is your ticket? Or do you feel like it's been diluted too much by all these clones and just all these just random tokens and stuff like that? Over 10,000 projects on CoinMarketCap to sort of distract a person away from Bitcoin or Ethereum, if you feel like those are the blue chips. So anyway, guys, leave a comment below, like and subscribe. Follow me on all social media at Brian Phobos, YouTube, Instagram, Steam, at Twitter, Hive, everywhere.